Hey guys, in this video we are going to be going over module number 3, June 14th through the 16th. That's part of basically the first half of week 2. So we're covering chapter 5. So read chapter 5, watch the lecture videos below on chapter 5. You can do that while you're, potentially while you're taking a shower. You can turn it up on your iPad and just have it set up somewhere where you can kind of glance, or while you're making dinner, that could work too. Just make sure you kind of glance at it, take a look at the artwork that I'm talking about, maybe note a few things in your head. That will really help reinforce the reading. Then go ahead and take that chapter quiz below by Wednesday, June 16th before 11:30 p.m. And then complete the evaluating art assignment below. It's basically writing 3 paragraphs, I believe, on a chosen piece of art from the textbook. That's due the 16th as well, which is a Wednesday. And then complete the Ed Puzzle video quiz on Nazi censorship of modern art. That's going to be below as well. Remember to continue working on project number 1. So by this point in time, you should have, potentially be done with at least the physical, visit to either the artist studio or the art gallery, depending on, which one you're going to go ahead and do. There is a virtual visit that you can do with the art gallery if you do a virtual tour, an actual real virtual tour, not just going to a website for a gallery. You have to actually go through the software, the 3D imaging software that is used for walking you through the floor plan of the museum, and then also shows you all of the artworks, where they're located inside of the museum. And then there's usually a little bit of information on each artwork. You may have to end up like Googling the artwork and then finding like a credible source of information, maybe from a different, museum or, art history website that's credible, that you can read about the artwork on, just to get a little bit more information on it. But definitely look through that. Project number 1, definitely be working on that. That is the information on that is going to be off to the left here. It's basically underneath the syllabus and above week 1. So if you need more information on project number 1, hopefully not at this point, but there's a whole module that's kind of devoted to it off to the left there. So here's the PowerPoint for chapter 5, the 3 lecture videos, and then the quiz. The evaluating art assignment, you basically pick a piece of art from the book and write a formal critique of it. Make sure you choose a piece of artwork that's not from chapter 3 or 4. Include the page number of the book that you found the work on, and include an image of the work to accompany your writing as well. So just embed that into your Word document or your Google Doc, and just make sure to give me the page number as well. And don't pick from chapter 3 or 4. So the numbered list below outlines the 3 steps for writing about art. I would like you to write 1 paragraph for each step. So basically 3 paragraphs total. And then try to write, for each of those 3 paragraphs, write 6 sentences per paragraph. Take your time, explain yourself. If you want to go longer than 6, that's probably going to get you a better grade, honestly. Watch the video lectures in module 3, which is this module that I'm in currently, for extra help with this project. Also read chapter 5 of the book. That's going to help you a lot. If you haven't done that, you're probably not going to do very well on this project. So get the facts about the work, name of creator, the title, date, subject, medium size, location of work, if it's a reproduction, that kind of thing. For step 1, you'll write a whole paragraph about that. Analyzing, talk about the parts of the work and how they fit together. Start off by describing the work in kind of a general sense, like, hey, this is a painting of a dog with a cat next to it, and there's kind of a blue sky and a landscape in the background, something kind of general. But then start going into, explaining the context of the work and the artist's input on the work. So, and then begin to list and explain all, or at least the most identifiable formal elements. So the formal elements are the elements of art that are present in the work. So identify those. If there's more than one, talk about, 5. That's going to be way more interesting than if you just talk about 1. List and explain all, or at least some of the most identifiable principles present in the work. So principles of design. Explain how the artist may have used either the elements or the principles to back up the content or meaning of the work. So how is the artist using color to back up the meaning of the work? How is the artist using symmetry to back up the meaning of the work? How is the artist using directional forces to back up the meaning of the work? Anything that has to do with the principle of design or element of art that the artist is using is probably going to be tying in to conveying some sort of meaning. And then determine, what the elements and principles suggest. Decide why the artist used these features to convey specific ideas, and then try to answer, basically in a nutshell, why did the artist create it and what does it mean? So this is basically paragraph 2. And then paragraph 3, you're going to be evaluating. You're going to assess the quality or importance of the work in relation to an art criticism technique. So there's 3 techniques: formal, contextual, or expressive. So choose one technique and use that to write this entire 3rd paragraph. You need to take some sort of stance on the work or express some sort of opinion about the work. Like, this is an important piece of work because it does this. And it should fit into one of those three art criticism techniques. And then, back up your theory or your stance with facts about the work. Remember, the formal technique is focused on if the work is innovative for its time. It has to do with the form of the work, the way it's made, the purely visual aspects or techniques used, rather than the narrative content or the relationship to the visual world. For the formal technique, you can write about how the form of this work was innovative for its time. Maybe the artist was using an entirely new technique. Or if you pick the contextual theory, you can write about why work was important for reflecting a certain time period. If you pick the expressive theory, you can tell us how successful this work is at expressing or portraying the unique individual feelings and emotions of the artist that created the work. So that's basically the 3 paragraphs here. Remember, 6 sentences at least for each paragraph, maybe more. For step 3, remember to choose one theory of art criticism and use that theory to evaluate the work. The 3 theories of art criticism are formal, contextual, and expressive. So submit a PDF file or a Word document for a grade to me, please, for that. And then there is an Edpuzzle video quiz on Nazi censorship of modern art. You might have to copy and paste this into a new tab on your browser. And then if you need to, you're going to need to sign into your Edpuzzle, or create an account if you don't have one. And then the class code is right here, so you might have to copy and paste that. But yeah, that's basically module number 3 in a nutshell. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. See you next time.